All right, guys, got a little carried away on the fender install. Just trying to get this thing done. But let me give you a walkthrough. So I got the fender set on there. Obviously, we got all our edges taped. And you got to line it up as best you can. Almost want to start with a door jamb and try to get this as tight. You got this tab. I start with this mount up front. I try to get my door line and try to get this close. And then I kind of just look from this side and then make a Sharpie mark. And then I'm using a real tiny drill bit that'll fit through the threads and not damage the threads. And then I just do a pierce point. And hopefully if that goes through, you're missing the threads. So then I go back and drill it with my normal size drill bit, which is this guy. I don't know what size it is. I gotta look. And once that's marked, drop the bolt in there and do the same thing up here. So once that thing's sitting back there, I'll close the hood and then get my hood line. So for this thing, you want to keep about an 1/8 inch gap. That's the factory line. Factory gap is an 1/8 inch. I have these shims. They're from Fireball Tool. But if you can find a piece of metal or something like that, it'll help you a lot. And you just sit your shim in there with the hood closed, and you can just, shim it how you want it. And then as soon as you have that shim placed, you can come underneath with the headlight out, and you could drill with your little drill bit a marker hole, and then come back here and drill it out. I drilled this one so you can see the little hole. So I got to drill that one bigger. This one's a bit harder because you can't get it from underneath. See, what I do is I'll leave that one in, these out, and I'll swing the fender out and just do a Sharpie line so you know where it's at. And then you can measure back and then make a Sharpie mark and then drill it. But after you get that bolt in there and you get your hood in line with the fender, you want to put your headlight back in here. So you're going to put these 2 bolts in, and then you're going to put that bolt in there. Just keep these loose. They're not tight, just so you can move your headlight around. And then I suck this one in here because this one really aligns your headlight and gets it in place. You still have a little bit of movement till you shim it. But as soon as you get this in here, now you can figure out your headlight. And see, I already trimmed a little bit out of here. But right here in this section, I need a little bit more. It's super close to touching. You don't want your fender rubbing on your headlight. So once you get this clearance, you'll come in here, mark this hole. Also, there's a dowel that comes off the headlight. You're gonna mark this. Just take a Sharpie and get a reference point. And I just drilled a big 1/2 inch hole, just so you got room in there and it'll line everything up. And once you get those all lined up, you finish doing your holes, get these guys. There's one on the inside, so you mark that one, get that inside one. I still got to do these 2 bottom ones, and then this hole, and the fender's mounted. It's ready to go. And then I have to go in and put this guy in here. That'll be the next step. And I got to show what to do with this guy, because you have to trim this plastic to get it to fit into the fender well. Plus, you're not going to use this other. This is for your inner fender. And if you're going to run an inner fender, you could just take that off and bolt it to the flap or the fender itself with your new inner fender. So you're going to trim all this, and I'll show you that. All right, so this plastic piece, I was saying that you have to trim where this tab is, and honestly, this side fits pretty perfect. That side, I had to trim some off of it, so it's just like imperfections with the fiberglass. I couldn't get this piece in here. But this one, it fits pretty good. So there is 3 little lines here, and you just want to sand it off, because you got to get that red plastic piece in here, and it's real tight with the fiberglass. And there's some more right here. So I just sanded this down to get this piece in here. And you have little tabs here and a little tab here. They're both dowels that are supposed to locate in there. I just sanded them off. You could try to locate them on the inner fender, but this thing bolts into the headlight, and it doesn't really, you don't really need them. It's more of for the factory stuff. So I'm gonna try to show you getting this piece back in here. So I kind of just got this thing fished around in here, and this side fits much better than the other side. And our holes are lined up. And then that red piece, see, it's just got to fit in this gap. So it's super tight. I mean, you got a lot of fiberglass if you're just going to sand that back. I had to take some out of the fiberglass on the other side and this plastic, but now the red piece should all fit in here with this all bolted back together. So this is all pretty much done. I'm going to drill and knock out the marker light. You just got to cut that out, file it, cut it. You could take a drill bit and Swiss cheese it, whatever you're more comfortable with, getting that cleaned up. The drill bit works pretty good. If you don't have a body saw, you just take a bunch of little drill holes and then connect them all with a file and smooth it out. That works really good. The side vent, we're going to knock that out too. Everything else is pretty much ready. Got all these bolt holes done. Just gonna do these guys. So if you have a Dremel, a little Dremel bit is optimal because you can get in there and just Dremel these super easily. These locations are correct. They lined up perfect with the other side. You can get in here with just a drill bit though. Let me show you real quick. Just a simple way of doing it. So this drill bit is the same size as our bolts, but it's also the same size as that tab. And you can literally just drill a hole and just work your way down. And then you can get in there with a file and file all that and smooth it out. This is a really simple way. Dremel does work good though too. And here it is with the vent installed and the fender mounted. It's a bit tricky getting the headlight shroud piece back in. So you kind of got to massage and trim this inner fiberglass piece. Well, there you have it. Fiberglass installed. Now you guys are ready to go do Raptor things with the boys. Just doing a quick update. We just got it out of the shop. He just got done doing the passenger side. The only thing we got to do is the marker lights, but the fit and finish on the ADV fenders came out pretty good. Very proportionate to the truck. I'm excited to do the rears. Got to get some paint and primer. Shout out to Narwhal. If you guys need any fabrication done, make sure to hit him up.